Hi, Layshia. Great to talk to you again. You mentioned earlier in the week that you joined New York because you wanted to work with Walt Hawkins. What have been your impressions of his system thus far? And other players have been talking about how they're not stuck in one position. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, totally. My first impressions are that every drill we do is very intentional and well thought out. And I said the other day, it's like the most bang for your buck. So even when we're doing a simple passing drill or a layup drill, it has so many components to it that you're reading the defense, making a one-handed pass, and then working on a lot of different finishes like a bump finish or a wide finish. And so he's just really intentional and thoughtful with how much he puts into why we're doing the drills we're doing. And then as far as his system goes, yeah, it is a level of being able to hit knockdown threes, have people who can play different positions. So it's been really fun and stimulating too for me to play the 4 or the 5 or set a screen and roll and then get the ball and get to play out of that. It's similar. You've seen Joyner and different players who are like, wait, I get to come off a ball screen and pass. And so in that way, it has been a lot of positionless basketball. We'll take a little bit of time, more time to get used to than if we just said, post players have to set this screen and roll because, right, we're asking people to do things maybe they've never done before. So it's going to take a little bit extra time to teach them and to bring them along.
Thank you, Layshia.
Next, we'll go over to Doug Feinberg.
Hey, Layshia. It's must be different having so many rookies around camp. Most teams play or have a few veterans or more veterans. What's it been like having all these rookies sort of working with you the last week or so?
It's been, a fun, vibrant, fresh energy having the young people, like they can get through the whole warm up. Usually you're in camp with veterans who are like, I can't do that because this knee hurts or I have to sit out because of that. So it's nice to have all the bodies in practice that you normally wouldn't have during training camp when you have a lot of veterans. That's been nice. There's moments where there's just a lot of teaching. Like we're asking them, there's 6 of them, right? We're asking them to do things that rookies don't normally get asked to do because they're such a big part of our team and we're treating them like they're not rookies. So we just had a conversation after practice was like, hey, I know it's hard, but we don't have time for bad body language. We don't have time to hold your head down. You've got to be like, I need you to pick me up and Sabrina to pick me up and all the people around us because they're such a big part of our team that they have to learn by fire and trial and error. We just don't have time for them to truly act like rookies. And so in that way, it's been a really interesting balancing act because we're asking a ton from them.
Thanks, Layshia.
Next, we'll go to Jackie Powell.
Hey, Layshia. Thanks so much for coming on with us this afternoon. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about the process that it takes for someone to become a player rep within the players union, because we've talked about Jocelyn a little bit. I asked her on media day and she said, yeah, I want to become a player rep. So how does that process work? And when will she hear back? Is there an election?
Yeah, we hold elections for our player reps. And so anyone can nominate you or you can nominate yourself. So your teammate could say, hey, I think Jocelyn and Kia Stokes would be good at it. And then we hold elections. Every single player on each individual team gets to vote for their player rep. So obviously their representation. And it's what's it called? Blind voting, like it's anonymous. So we know it's coming from each player. So your teammates don't know if you voted for them or not. And then you get selected as player rep, and then we have a player rep and an alternate. So I know Jocelyn, I don't know if she got named player rep or the alternate, but was just on the call last night. I expected her to be heavily involved in the process. Similar works for our executive committee. We serve 3-year terms or 2-year terms, and the player rep terms are annual.
So she's one of those positions. That's what she was on a call last night, and that's been confirmed.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I see a few folks have joined us. Please remember to raise your hands if you have a question, and I will call on you. Next, we'll go to Sarah Valenzuela.
Hi, Layshia. Good to see you again. I have no idea if you can see us.
I can. No, I can't see you.
Oh, so it's too bad we didn't get to catch up with you after the schedules had come out. But have you had a chance to look at the schedules and what sort of you're thinking? I know you were just saying that like the rookies really don't have time to act like rookies. So just knowing that you have like such a tough schedule coming up, like to start and then continuing with the season, what sort of your mindset and how did you react to that?
I mean, I was like, shoot, Seattle, let's go. Like Sioux versus Sav, let's roll it out. You know, it's really exciting to be the first game back. No pressure at all. I thought it was a good mix, our schedule. Like we opened up with a variety of different teams, their first 5 games. You know, you could say Seattle's the favorite. They've obviously got Stewie, they've got Jewel, they've got Sue Bird, but there's no gimme games in this league, and we know that. Like, so there's no, oh, we're playing Seattle, and then this is our gimme game, and then we have to play a hard team, and then an easy team. Like, every single game in this league is a dogfight and a battle to win. So it's more just preparing generally for this season and sticking to our mission, sticking to our growth mindset, our way that we want to approach everything, and knowing, you know, that we got to build a little more in the toughness category, because at the end of the day, it takes a lot of toughness to win in this league, no matter who you're playing.
Gotcha. One more question. I asked this question to Kia before these plans were even developed for you guys to come to Florida. What sort of the mindset when you guys came into not spring training, sorry. I was just switching over from baseball. Coming into camp and knowing that there was this crunch timeline for you guys to get prepared, and then now seeing the schedule, was there any kind of difference that happened in there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously when the schedule comes out, you can start scouting. So, you know, we're playing Seattle first. So, you know, we start working on some of the plays they're going to run. But otherwise, it's really about working on yourself and how we're rebuilding this team, the identity we want to put in place, the foundational blocks we want to set with like the type of positionless basketball we want to play. So for us, it's really focusing on that. I mean, we know we got to bring it. We're playing Brianna Stewart in her first game back in game 1. But like I said, and no one in this league is a gimme. So it really hasn't changed our process much.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Next, we'll go over to Holly Rowe.
Hey there, Layshia. Hey, so I can see that you've had some cupping situations happening. I'm just very curious how everyone's body and your body has reacted to being back, and what you've noticed on the floor from the first couple of days to now of like we're getting up to speed quickly, or where your team is at.
I'm feeling pretty good. I had the luxury of getting in a private gym about a month before I left. So I know we have a variety of people who had access to gym and not, but Walt's done a really good job of not ramping us up too quickly. I know I heard of some teams who were like playing live, 5 full court, 5-on-5 the second day. So he's done a really good job of like being intentional, putting us in 3-on-3 positions and small group and very controlled environments when we start to play, just really to mitigate that risk and injury and like overuse and tendonitis for players, because, you know, we were at home, we had a variety of training regimens. So I think my body's feeling pretty good. You're feeling that a little bit of day 5 of camp. Soreness once you start doing contact, you're like, why does my arm hurt? Why is my neck? Because we're just battling, hitting each other a little bit. And the first few days of camp, I've noticed like our rookies are really good. They do things that I wasn't doing coming out of college, and it's really cool to see that like they can just Euro and dribble hold, and they can do like cross steps and moves that just like we weren't talking about in women's basketball 5 or 6 years ago, but now this having even caught up in the skill set. And I've noticed a lot about Sabrina is just such a good, she just makes people better around her. And that's really nice to have as a point guard and playmaker myself. It's like great to have another point guard playmaker, knowing like I could be off the ball sometimes and she can bring it up. And we have like multiple people who can play and lead in different positions.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Layshia, so much. Thank you all. I have Jocelyn coming in next. Layshia, if you want to leave out. Jocelyn, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. If you all could raise your hands if you have questions, that would be great. Give me 1 second. All right, first we'll go to Sarah Valenzuela.
Hi again. So
Hi.
I noticed you came in wearing a mask. Have you done any practice time with the mask on, and how has it been adjusting to having to wear a mask in and around the practice facility?
Yeah, we don't wear the mask while we're working out. We just wear them into the facilities, make sure that we're safe, even though we're still like practicing together. And then once we're getting started and moving around, we take them off. But you know, in transportation, getting ready to leave or coming in, we'll wear a mask just to be safe, take extra precaution.
Sorry, one more follow-up. I forgot to unmute myself. Now seeing the full schedule that you guys have for the season, what are your thoughts on who you guys have got coming up and going throughout?
I mean, I haven't even taken a look at the full thing. I just know we have Seattle coming up first. And so for me, my approach is to take it one game at a time, one day at a time. And so looking to just get better each day in practice. And then leading up to the first game, there's definitely a lot of excitement. But I'm the type of person who likes to focus on the here and now and the present rather than, you know, the whole picture in long term. So one step at a time, one day at a time.
Last follow-up question, I promise, and then I'll switch it over to everyone. Now coming into day 5 of camp, Layshia said that she was starting to feel some of the little bit soreness. How is your body handling training camp?
Yeah, overall pretty good. I think everyone will have a little bit of soreness just because we've had, you know, months of not being in a team environment playing contact. And so now as we're gearing up again, your body's moving in different ways that it hasn't. So just getting used to that, you'll get a little bit soreness, but I feel like we're doing a good job of taking care of our bodies, hydrating, you know, eating well, and just doing all the little things to make sure that we'll be able to perform at the top of our game, being that it is going to be a grind. A lot of games in a short amount of time. We're in Florida, which is hot. So doing those things that we need to do to take care of our bodies and try to minimize the soreness and prevent any types of injuries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up, Holly Rowe.
Unmute myself, sorry. Hi. I wanted to find out a little bit about, you know, this is so many new faces on this team, and Walt's system's new, everything's new right now. So I wanted to find out what you know about yourself and your role and kind of what your goal is for yourself this season of what you can contribute.
Yeah, I think my role is kind of changing. I think I've kind of proven to be able to do more than I think even my teammates or the coaches would have initially expected me to, or it's different just watching film versus seeing me in person play. And so I think my biggest thing is to contribute any way possible on both ends of the floor. I think I'll definitely be a versatile piece, playing a little bit of a small 4, but also a guard position. Definitely shooting, extending the defense, but also making plays, you know, driving, kick, setting up my teammates. So a little bit of everything, honestly. I think especially looking to get after on the defensive end and cause some disruption and trouble for other players. I think my aggressiveness and physicality will still translate to this level. Might look a little different, but, you know, just the things that are to my core and who I am, doing those even more, I think is what I'll expect for this season.
Okay, and then one follow-up for me is, what is your personal platform or the thing that is most important to you to focus on through social justice and the voice, and what do you want us to continue to talk about moving forward this season?
I think there's so much, and so it's hard for me to say one thing when you think about the Say Her Name or Black Lives Matters movement. And I think for me, it's about continuing the conversation, educating ourselves and others on all the initiatives, whether it's through voting, whether it's education, like literally the school education system, healthcare. So many systems are in need of reform and change. And so I think my personal goal right now is to educate myself on these systems and some of their shortcomings and figure out ways in which we can influence them and create change, long lasting and permanent positive change. So that's my first goal, just education and figuring out more tangible, concrete steps to create change.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Jackie Powell.
Hey, Jocelyn. Nice to see you again. I wanted to build off of Holly's question, actually. I know you're a huge fan of Maya Moore, so I wanted to know if you could talk about how it made you feel to see Jonathan Irons released from prison and that she had accomplished that goal. And also, how has that inspired you to want to really get involved in this newly created social justice council that your teammate Layshia is helping to put together?
Yeah, so Maya Moore is incredible, and I think she deserves so much recognition. I think that's definitely picked up in recent events, in light of recent events. So I'm happy to see that. But I mean, for her to take a step back and do the work that she's been doing, committing herself to, is amazing and inspiring. And so I think when you see other players using their platform coming into the league, I'm kind of like, okay, what can I do here and now? How can I help out? And so learning more about what the vets and other players in the league are doing, whether they're opting out or here in the bubble, what we can do together collectively. I know the Players Association had a meeting last night to just kind of get a little bit more information on the newly formed council and talk about what are different initiatives that the teams are doing and how we can come together and collaborate or support each other in those efforts. And so I'm really excited about seeing all that we can accomplish and how that will continue and create more momentum and change moving forward. So I'm excited for the new council and looking to learn more about it and get more engaged as it's newly formed, and just to help it grow and develop.
And I just want to confirm, we just talked to Layshia. I asked them, so you're officially a player rep now.
Yeah.
That's been confirmed.
That has been confirmed.
So congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Jeff Magglio Chetty.
Hi, Jocelyn. Thanks for joining us. This is a bit of a homecoming for you. I think we went over it a little bit on draft day. So homecoming for you in the sense that you were from Newark. Is that right?
I'm from East Orange, but very close to Newark, New Jersey.
Yes, East Orange. And you went to a Newark Academy, right?
In Livingston, yes.
In Livingston. So as someone who's, has experienced the metropolitan area a little bit, how did your experiences in East Orange and in Livingston and in Newark help you prepare for this WNBA journey?
Well, when I think about where I'm from and my roots, I think about the people, honestly, and all the people who've poured into me to help me get to this point, whether it's people from New Jersey, New York, but again, tri-state metropolitan area. And so I'm thankful to have come from those communities, to have so much investment from them. And now, one of my things is like, okay, how can I give back and invest back in those communities? So I'm a little bit sad that we're not able to play in Brooklyn this year, not able to be home for me, but knowing that I'll still have the support and looking forward to getting back to Brooklyn next year and just being more involved and engaged in those communities, especially thinking about the schools that I went to, the teams and programs that I've played for, and the people there. I think that's what makes a place, kind of home. So to be able to give back and just be a part of the community again, I'm looking forward to that.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jocelyn, and thank you all for joining us. Jocelyn, you can exit the room now.
Okay.
We will have a recording for you all sent out via email very